I know you have beef, Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, SBF's parents.
Yes. Is there something about his parents in there?
Well, there's a few things about his parents in there. It sounds quite crimey to me.
Sounds maybe a little bit crimey. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, a lot of FTX insiders knew about this, and they all called it the Korean friend. And it was like, oh, you just essentially lost 300 million for the estate in a week.
Oh.
They've sold most of the crypto already. I need to caution people. Let's put this at the beginning of the video because I need to caution people. If you're a foreigner, they may withhold 30% of whatever recovery you get and give it to the IRS.
What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff, and the FTX reorganization plan is finally out, so I'm having Louis back on the channel to discuss it with me. Louis is one of FTX's largest creditors, and he's been very actively involved in the bankruptcy, so let's talk about some of the bangers in this plan.
There's some bangers in this document.
Okay, so Louis is back, my new resident FTX creditor specialist person, and he read the entire, I don't know how many pages it was, probably over 200 pages worth of
138 actually.
You read the whole plan that was just filed yesterday, right? Yesterday?
Yes. Well, there's some bangers, and I know you have beef with FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, SBF's parents.
Yes. Is there something about his parents in there?
Well, there's a few things about his parents in there. First off, there's the $10 million he gave them, and then the $16 million, luxury house.
Mm-hmm.
But the real banger for me is that they have found $195 million in political donations.
Oh.
With over 1,000 payments. This sounds very crimey to me. Like cutting up political donations and masking them so that you don't know who's giving them sounds very, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the laws. It sounds quite crimey to me.
Sounds maybe a little bit crimey. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. It's a lot of money. Basically, they were like, look, we've tried to get some of this money back, but we've just called the DOJ and given them everything.
Ooh.
So it could get a little heated over there.
Okay. Why is that in the plan? I didn't actually expect it to talk about political.
Well, they basically talk a lot about the background. They're like, this is why we're here,
Okay.
This is where we're at.
Yes.
And I think, broadly speaking, this plan is going to be an incredible disappointment to the FTX creditor community on Twitter. Okay. Mr. Doomer over here has been predicting a lot of this stuff, and
so Louis not surprised.
Other people are surprised. There are no surprises for me in this document. At this
point. Good. Okay, good. We picked the right FTX creditor.
Yeah. A lot of people, there is one surprise in there, but I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. It's going to be the biggest disappointment for people, the biggest, what the fuck moment. And I need to caution people. Let's put this at the beginning of the video because I need to caution people. If you're a foreigner, and a foreigner is defined as a non-US person, they may withhold 30% of whatever recovery you get and give it to the IRS.
Oh.
They're like, hey, if you fill in a W-8 form, which is to certify that you're a non-US person, we might have to pay withholding tax because we don't know what tax you actually owe. And the US government, for some reason, I guess it's because it's a Chapter 11 in the US, is getting involved.
Did you see anything like that in Celsius's filing? Because Celsius had international creditors, and I didn't hear anything like that.
That is a really good question. I think there's a big difference in that Celsius isn't distributing cash, which essentially means that it's not a taxable event. So you get distributed Bitcoin, ETH, and Newco equity.
Right.
I'm not a tax expert. I'm not a tax advisor. Honestly, if you have more than $100,000 in these bankruptcies, you need tax advice.
Especially if you're international, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Oof. I mean, There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot we can cover, but I mean, do you think that FTX, obviously too little, too late, but do you think FTX International should have even been in U.S. bankruptcy court? Because Sam has expressed that he didn't think FTX International should be in U.S. bankruptcy court because
I
they
don't know
weren't
what
catering to
else
U.S.
to do.
individuals.
As in, this was such a big bankruptcy that, like, what are you gonna, like, the Bahamas could not handle this. No offense to the Bahamas state, but they wouldn't be able to handle this. This
Okay.
is like a big thing. It's a $10 billion bankruptcy.
Yeah. So you think it's proper that it's in the U.S.?
I don't think it's proper. I just don't think there's any choice.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Like, you know,
I'm sure Sam's upset about it from jail right now, but oh well.
I don't think he's read the plan.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Someone told me he gets access to some things, but we'll see. Okay, but we started off with something spicy. The parents, the things that the parents got, $10 million to his parents, the real estate they were given. Was that spoken about as like this is getting clawed back, or is that already
Oh,
known?
the real estate is actually part of the Bahamian liquidation.
Okay.
That's going to get liquidated in the Bahamas. And eventually that'll end up in the FTX.com silo. Remember last video, I talked about that there being different silos. And they have pinned a clawback action against the parents.
Mhm.
I expect the parents will need to find some money to pay into the estate, will settle, or will file for bankruptcy.
I mean, the money that they have right now is the money that Sam gave them, the $10 million he gave them, and that's also funding his legal defense.
Yeah, I also think they're somewhat wealthy Stanford professors. They're not, they
I
have a
hope
nice. Look, it is unfortunate because it's awful to go after people's houses and things like that. But I would not be surprised if the FTX estate went after their home and stuff like that. I mean, it is harsh. And you've been there, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not someone who's like
Nice.
rooting for them to go to prison necessarily. I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, they owe some money, so
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about that. I don't know. The parents haven't been particularly nice to me anyway, so
Is the house nice?
it's not even that nice, but I think it's probably worth quite a bit. I think it's worth 4 million because it's in a nice area, like the Bay Area, but
Yeah.
it's not that nice. It's kind of big, but it's not ostentatious. Your place looks more ostentatious than theirs.
It's not ostentatious. It's just old.
It does look old. It looks
And
creepy.
there are no ceiling lights anywhere.
Oh, that's creepy. I don't like it.
It's like there's no lights at all. I don't understand. My dad is 90. Nobody gives a shit, but my dad's 90, and a lot of like technological progress. Growing up, I only discovered like at other people's houses. It was like, wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
The craziest thing to me when I was like maybe 9 years old is I discovered an electric pencil sharpener at someone's house, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is this?
Okay. So, and the political donations as well. Have we discussed what the progress is on getting back political donations?
I don't think there's been very much. Like
Okay.
when you look at the plan, it doesn't say, hey, they said basically we have found 1,072 different contributions totaling $195 million. And 900 transfers are under 100,000, and a few $1,000s each. And
And
they've
not
only gotten $500,000 back.
they've only gotten $500,000 back. Wow. Okay. That's not looking so good. Okay.
And it's like kind of, I don't know what he was doing. This sounds very crimey to me.
I mean, Sam had political advisors, and I think his mom was actually somewhat one of his political advisors. And there are emails that came up in court where she was basically directing who should send what, where, because she didn't want, for example, donations to Mind the Gap to look like to look like it was a family affair, all coming from Sam Bankman-Fried. So she was like, "Hey, Nishad, would you want to send this one so it doesn't look like just a family
Sounds
affair?"
crimey to me.
See, I don't know the laws on political donations. When I talked to Sam about it, Sam was like, I thought it was legal. Citizens United basically allows for all of this. I don't know enough about the law around this, but doesn't look amazing.
Doesn't look good.
Not great.
I'll tell you who is going to be happy in this bankruptcy process.
Mm-hmm.
is NFT holders.
I wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Claims Market. It looks like FTX may have a very long road ahead, and not all FTX customers want to sit through a potentially multi-year bankruptcy. Well, Claims Market offers FTX customers an option to get access to immediate liquidity. Claims Market is basically a marketplace where you can list your bankruptcy claims for sale, and almost 50 onboarded buyers will compete and bid for your claim to make sure that sellers get the best price. Their generic pricing for large claims is around 57 to 61%, however, this can change dependent on claim size and preference. I would also just like to point out that FTX claims are currently selling at the highest prices they've ever been sold. In fact, pricing for larger claims above $1 million has risen by 2% on the ask side as of December 7th, 2023, or today, the day this video is being filmed. Claims can be sold quickly, sometimes even the same day that they're listed, and you can view this on a transparent transaction history at claims-market.com. In fact, Claims Market is the only broker to have publicly visible and transparent documentation. The majority of trades are confirmed within 2 to 3 days of listing. Once a trade is confirmed, buyers are contractually obligated to send payment to the seller within 2 business days. This offers FTX creditors a path to fast liquidity. There are 0 fees to the seller for listing or directly selling their claim, only for smaller claims that Cherokee buys. Cherokee is credible. They've actually transacted the most crypto claims in all bankruptcy cases, including FTX. In fact, over $200 million of crypto claims have been traded on Claims Market in the past year. They also have almost 150 5-star Google reviews. If you want to sell your bankruptcy claim for immediate liquidity so that you could maybe reinvest it back into the market or just do whatever you want, Claims Market is an excellent choice, and you can find them on Twitter at claims_market, on YouTube at Claims Market, on LinkedIn under Cherokee Acquisitions. And to be clear, I am not telling you to sell your claim. I would never tell you what to do with your money, but if you're in need of immediate liquidity and just don't want to sit through a potentially very long bankruptcy, then Claims Market is an excellent option.
Everyone's on board with the mission, which is to serve claim sellers and companies in need of retail finance. Everyone's an expert, everyone's dedicated to customer service, everyone's on board with our mission of transparency. So the Claims Market website was created to fundamentally reorder the playing field of the claims market.
So thank you to Claims Market, and back to the video. Why?
Basically, the estate is, the debtors are like, look, NFTs are a bunch of garbage. We're not even going to try and monetize and sell them. You can have your fucking NFTs back.
So were there valuable NFTs, and it's just like, you can have your Bored Ape back?
Does that exist, a valuable NFT? Like, does that exist?
I think NFTs are fucking stupid for anyone who cares.
So I discovered a service online that is pretty interesting for US taxpayers. Is like a service that'll buy your NFTs from you so that you can have a tax loss. So like if you have a worthless NFT and you can't, to realize a tax loss, you have to sell something. And so if you bought an NFT for 200K and it's worthless now, you can't take your tax loss unless you sell it to someone. Good service, that. Let me buy your worthless NFT for $1. Anyway, those guys will be happy. The really like contentious bit of this bankruptcy is dollarization at petition date. So Bitcoin was at 17K, under 17K at petition date. There's a whole segment in this plan about, look, we're going to figure out how to price these things. We're going to pay someone. When they say we're going to figure it out, that means they're just going to pay a lawyer millions of dollars to go on CoinMarketCap and say, yeah, Bitcoin, you know, we're going to choose a time and Bitcoin was at this price. And they're essentially not going to hand back anybody's Bitcoin. There's another banger in this thing is that they've sold most of the crypto already.
Ooh, and do we know what prices they were selling at?
We don't know. And we don't know if it's most of the cryptos, I'm assuming. But they liquidated $1.8 billion of cryptocurrency.
How much is left?
We don't know.
Okay.
I think about 800 million, maybe $1 billion if we're lucky.
Ooh, so I mean, I guess that's good or bad depending on, I don't know.
I think it's like the Twitter FTX creditor community will unanimously think this is bad. Now, in our last video, I said, oh, claims are never going to trade that high. They are for big claims over $1 million. You're getting into the 60s. I think after this plan, a lot of people are going to come to market with their claims.
And if you would like to sell your claim, you can sell your claim at claims-market.com.
I'm
The
good friends with
sponsor
those
of this
guys.
video.
To be fair, I am good friends with those guys, and they are extremely professional. I'm
Yes.
a customer. Check the value of your claim first. So go to, ftxcreditor.com, check the value of your claim. Like, you need to do that to know what your claim is. 60% of people just have USD claims, so you kind of know. But if you have crypto, at least you know what the petition date price roughly is for your claim, because there's no list. There's no easy way to check that. The other bit that they've put in is that they're making it damn clear that they will not let creditors have 100% recovery, more than 100% recovery.
Oh.
No one is getting more than 100%. It's not happening.
Wow.
Zero mention of an RRT, which is like a big thing in the crypto dream of
What's
like
an RRT?
a recovery token.
Oh, okay.
The assets, that's not happening.
Ooh.
And there is no mention of 2.0. This is a liquidation, a hardcore liquidation. There's no.
Wow. So they're just straight up, they're not gonna reboot FTX. You're not gonna get
I don't
stock
think-
in FTX. You're not.
I don't
Ooh.
think that's happening. I think that's a pipe dream. Like, they don't mention it a single time in the plan. The other thing that they don't mention a single time is Binance. They have two mentions of Binance in a historical context,
Right.
but no, like, hey, we're gonna sue the shit out of Binance to get that $2 billion clawback.
So they're not gonna get a clawback from Binance potentially?
Potentially, they're not going to sue for it. I don't know if you remember, but basically, Sam bought back CZ's stake in FTX for like $2 billion,
Yeah.
something like that, using customer funds.
Yeah.
Literally, they
Partially.
admitted to it in court, like, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
it's not good.
So that's just gone potentially.
Potentially. I mean, they might come with an avoidance action later on. It's not in the plan. They don't talk about it.
Wow.
They talk about FTT.
What's FTT being valued at?
Well, they're basically saying, hey, as FTT, you're subordinated and you're going to get like X% recovery. I'm telling you, FTT is getting 0% recovery. I can tell you that right now. The way there's a hint of that, it says that they're deemed to reject the plan. So there's also the preference stuff is in here, the 15% settlement in the 9 days prior to the bankruptcy. We knew this before. If you withdrew more than 250K in the 9 days before the bankruptcy, you're getting a preference action of 15% of what you removed. It's
Okay.
pretty good. It's a good settlement.
That seems kind of fair
Seems
compared
kinda-
to Celsius. I mean, it's a much smaller time frame than Celsius. Yeah. So that seems fair. But I guess, I mean, we were saying that, okay, the things that people are going to be upset about on Twitter are the fact that I guess claims are dollarized, which, were you surprised by that? I saw a lot of headlines come out about that, but I was like we talked about in the last video. I mean, there's a lot of precedent for that.
There's a lot of precedent for that, but like basically people on Twitter are like, they're rejecting the terms of service. It's like, yeah, they rejected the terms of service the whole fucking time, mate. Like, before this was in bankruptcy, they rejected the terms of service and they're rejecting them now. So
I mean, is that really a rejection of the terms of service though? Or is it, to me, it was just like, well, that is how bankruptcy seems to work and seems to always go.
It's a bit of both. It's also a rejection of the terms of service. In the FTX US case, they acknowledge in the document that in the FTX US case, there is much more of a case to be made that people should be given their crypto back.
Yeah, it seems that way. So now
the reality is if you're running a futures exchange, which is what FTX was, if you're putting
FTX.com.
Yeah, FTX.com, not FTX US. If you're putting your crypto in there, the whole point of FTX is that you could then lever your crypto to bet like 5x on perps. Like, that was the whole point. And at that point, you're losing your crypto. You're giving it to FTX to be able to do that. That didn't happen on .com.
In US. That didn't happen in US.
My bad. You're right. It did not happen in the US, where you're essentially having some sort of custodial arrangement with the platform where you buy your crypto there and you can hold it there. There was no leverage. There were no perps. You were not borrowing. You weren't lending.
Right. I mean, even on FTX.com, though, not everyone agreed to margin trading and like some people were just smart.
Everybody is.
Do you think?
I think you didn't need to agree to different terms of service to trade futures. I can't remember doing that. I think it was available from the get-go. And like, just to be clear, if people are trading on leverage on a platform, you are hypothecating your assets to that platform. You're putting your assets at risk because whenever there's leverage, if the losses of one trader exceed his balance sheet, those losses need to be covered by someone, somewhere.
Right. Like the
Who's
socialized
eating the
loss,
loss? Who's
clawbacks.
eating- Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's basically what Sam was arguing. Like he was basically arguing that FTX US was not touched, but people who agreed to the margin trading on FTX International, he was like, we could use their funds.
The plan kind of acknowledges that FTX US should kind of get their crypto back, but they're like, look, sue us. Like, we want to avoid a lengthy lawsuit. Like, let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's see if someone sues, like someone with a lot of money on FTX US. I don't think there's that many people on FTX US with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my prediction is that claim buyers are going to really start being important players now, because why would you hold on if you're a crypto person? Like, why would you hold on if it for years to just get dollars back? You're not really making a crypto bet anymore.
Yeah.
You're just waiting it out, and they need to vote on the plan. For the plan to be approved, you need 66% of the dollar values to vote for it, or half of the creditors.
In each different category of creditor or just everyone?
In theory, yeah. It gets more complicated than that, and I frankly don't really understand the, like, also it has to be better than a Chapter 7 liquidation. Chapter 7 liquidation just means that, like, we respect the entities, the legal entities, and we liquidate every single one is a absolute nightmare.
Right. So what is the distinction then at this point between this and a Chapter 7 liquidation?
They're basically liquidating things along a, like, very defined plan. But there's not that much difference, I don't think.
So it's like an orderly wind down.
Yes.
Kind of like what
In Celsius, yeah. If
Right.
only, I mean, the people stuck in Celsius, so sorry, Tiff. Like,
Yeah. Celsius is a bigger shit show. Honestly, I mean, like, I bet a bunch of creditors are going to be upset that FTX 2.0 isn't happening. But like we were talking about, it might have just been a really long, dragged out process that might ultimately end up in the plan getting rejected after a fucking year and a half, like what
Yeah.
happened with Celsius. So it's just a waste of time and money. So this honestly might end up being a better outcome, even though it might sound worse in the beginning. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a worse outcome if you're a risk-loving crypto trader.
Mm-hmm,
The worse outcome. There is no optionality upside here, basically. Like, if you like options where, like, this might go up 10x, this ain't happening here, baby.
Right.
No way.
Right. That is kind of a bummer then. I mean, that if you can't get over 100% of your claim, because I guess part of what Celsius is arguing is that if we give you stock in this new company, if this new company does so well, it's possible you could get over 100% of your claim. I'm reluctant to believe something like that. Like, I don't want stock in a fucking new company. I want my liquid crypto back. Or I'd even take dollars back at this point. I'm sick of this bankruptcy. But yeah, so it does suck that FTX creditors, I guess, don't have that opportunity. But
yeah, I mean, like, I just don't see how FTX 2.0 would really work, given that, like, it would have to get new licenses and all this stuff. So, like, I'm a bit bearish on that front. And well, the other bad news is that the IRS has, like, said, hey, we might actually want a priority claim of $24 billion. And they're refusing to do any work to say exactly what the claim is. And it might take years. It says in the plan, like, hey, we're very worried that the IRS might take their time, right? And take years and years and years to calculate exactly how much FTX owes in taxes, which would delay the confirmation of the plan by years. And you'd be stuck in this stupid bankruptcy until the IRS figures its shit out. Imagine being a non-US entity, right? Stuck in this bankruptcy, waiting for the IRS to say, hey, we're going to take this much out of it. And then the IRS taking another 30% of your payment.
Oof.
Oof.
That's bad. That's bad.
It's called getting wrecked.
It is getting wrecked. Oh my God, over and over again.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nasty.
At this point, I mean, if I was a non-US, I don't know, I probably would sell my claim in this situation, honestly.
It's pretty shit.
Would
there's-
you? I mean,
Would I sell my claim?
at this point, you've bought claims at a lower
Yeah.
price, so you're doing okay.
Yeah. Would I sell my claim now? Yeah. I'm an option value guy. I like to think that things can go up above like ceiling.
Right.
And I know that's a pipe dream, but like I'm never gonna buy treasuries, right? Like and just like watch my 4% roll in every year. I'm just not gonna do that.
Right. Right.
You know, I'm gonna buy some Microsoft shares and some Bitcoin and like let's go. It goes down, it's gone down, and I'll be sad, but at least I know I can maybe make it to Mars.
Mm-hmm. Wow, there really are some bangers. I'm surprised that like I've been like looking at the headlines and stuff like that, but there hasn't been much that's come out. So I think that
picked up on the important stuff.
Sorry?
People haven't picked up on the important stuff yet.
I think so, and I think you might be one of the first people who read through that entire document, honestly, maybe.
I was on a flight.
I'm so happy that we found someone who read the entire document. I think we might be one of the first.
Well, there we go.
I didn't read it.
It's cool. We're a team.
I know. Louis is my favorite FTX creditor
Nice.
at the moment.
Do you know any others?
A couple. I've actually told the story of how I was like on a date with someone when Sam first messaged me, and he told me that he'd lost several millions of dollars to FTX. I don't know if that's true. He might be lying. But so I was at the time dating someone who apparently lost a lot of money to FTX. So I know another FTX creditor, apparently.
Look, that would have been a fun date to be on. If I was on a date with you and you're like, wait, I'm texting Sam Bankman-Fried, I'd be like, show me.
That's literally what happened. And he was like, you need to go home and ask him where my fucking money is. That was a funny time. But Louis is my new favorite FTX creditor.
There you go. Other things to talk about.
Yes.
There is a convenience class.
Yeah, what are the thresholds for the convenience class?
$10,000.
Oh, for Celsius, the convenience class got treated so much better, and I assume that's the same with FTX.
I don't really know. It's actually kind of like unsure, but I'm gonna throw out some numbers. Everybody likes some numbers, right?
We love numbers here.
Let me pull them up from my notes.
As you pull them up, I'll just go through. In Celsius, if it's similar to FTX, anyone with a $5,000 or under claim was given about 70% of their claim back in liquid crypto, which was at the time much more than any of us expected. So to us, we were anyone with a larger claim was a little bit jealous of the convenience class because they got treated much better. Basically, get a larger percentage of their claim back and get the fuck out of the bankruptcy and don't have to worry about this like the mining code plan and the restructuring, etc. So convenience class in my head is good.
Well, yeah, and so there's 1.5 million creditors to FTX. 1.3 million creditors are in the convenience class.
Oh.
So that like leaves basically less than 200K creditors, 100-something thousand creditors, not even, to the rest of the bankruptcy.
Oh.
So it makes it way more manageable.
That's definitely a good idea. And I assume that the convenience class will get a payout before the rest of these creditors. So then the bankruptcy will hopefully get a little bit more simplified.
I don't know because I don't think anybody in Celsius in the convenience class got a payout.
I guess they haven't. I guess we've told them where they're going to get their payout and they haven't actually got it.
So, well, maybe they'll be told that they'll have an early payout, but really they won't.
However this goes, I mean, it's going to take a really long time. I mean, it's going to take...
Oh, my God.
I was going to ask you for an estimate. I mean, Celsius is over a year and a half. Doesn't look like we're near getting a payout since we keep having these...
I give that maybe another year in Celsius.
Right, I think so too. I think people are way too optimistic thinking we're going to get a payout in January. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
No, like just think about it. Already, just to get to agreeing to get the payout is going to take ages. And once they agree on to do the payout, there's going to be a bunch of bullshit around how do you do the payout.
Completely. There's so much we haven't unpacked yet. I'm like, I don't know. People are so optimistic. I guess we talked about this. Crypto people are overly optimistic. I'm like, guys, add another like several months or a year to whatever they're telling us. Like it's going to take a really long time.
And in FTX,
FTX, it's going to be.
you have to wait for the IRS as well to do their calculations,
Oh
unless
my
the
God.
IRS magically says we're going to be your friends, FTX creditors. But like,
Nightmare.
no,
It's going to be a nightmare.
It's going to be bad, isn't it?
I think it's gonna, a few years.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, a few years. Like probably not 1 year.
They in the plan, they were like, look, they put a placeholder date and they didn't put the month or the day, but they put 2024 for the vote.
Okay. And the vote, after the vote, it's still going to be several months
And
after the vote too.
as you know, from the vote in Celsius was 3 months ago.
I believe so. Yeah, several months ago.
Yeah, several months ago, and there is no
Haven't seen a payout. Doesn't look like it's around the corner at this
not
point.
happening.
So
They
yeah,
also said no KYC, no money.
with FTX.
Yep. Now, if you don't KYC, you're not getting a payout.
Is that surprising? I mean, to me, I'm kind of like, I guess, how would they know where to pay you if you're not KYC'd?
Well, there's laws around this, but they want the original creditor to KYC.
I don't know enough about if that's surprising or not. Are you surprised?
It's a bit surprised. I'm not anymore, but I'm not surprised by this, but it is a little unusual.
Was FTX International a no KYC exchange? Like you didn't have to KYC fees?
Absolutely not. A no KYC exchange is super illegal.
Okay.
Like,
So,
you can't touch the US dollar banking system if you're a no KYC something.
okay. I mean, to me, that aspect just seems not super surprising, but
yeah, it's called the Bank Secrecy Act, and they take that stuff really seriously.
I mean, that's what CZ apparently violated.
Exactly, and he's probably going to jail.
I wonder. I mean, he pled guilty. He might not go to jail. I don't know.
Should I? We don't know. Should I explain the waterfall that they describe?
Ooh, feel free to explain the waterfall. And
Okay.
I don't know what the waterfall is. So if you want to tell us what the waterfall is and explain the waterfall.
So it's like the payment waterfall. Basically, what they're saying is if you're an FTX.com creditor, you get first dibs on everything that's in FTX, the crypto that's in FTX, all of that. You're getting first dibs on that.
FTX.com over FTX US gets first dibs?
No, FTX.com gets first dibs on what's in FTX.com.
Okay.
FTX US gets first dibs on what's in FTX US. And
Okay.
by first dibs, they mean all of the assets in those things until they're 100% repay, and they're not going to be 100% repaid. There's a massive shortfall, right? So for FTX.com, it's like 10% repay with the stuff in .com, and then they get to take assets in Alameda, that's called the general pool, until they're 66% repaid. And once FTX.com is 66% repaid, general unsecured creditors get to take their share of proceeds pro rata. And if the 34%, like let's say there's 66% recovery in .com and a 34% remaining, that 34% is pro rata to the creditors.
All creditors.
The GUCs, the general unsecured. So if it's 340 million or a billion and a billion, they get money at the same time. Last video, I said, it's going to be about 90% to FTX.com and 10%. I think that math still holds. But I'm going to do more math, and you're definitely not going to want to do a video on my math. But
we were talking about 90% of the remaining assets. So when we say 90%, that doesn't mean you're getting a 90% recovery. It means like 90% of the remaining assets.
I think it ends up around there, around late 80s, 90s. Yeah.
For recovery for FTX International and FTX US, or what do you think the distinct?
I still think FTX US is going to be 100% recovery.
Nice. Louis thinks FTX US customers will have a 100% recovery.
Based on petition date prices. So like if you had a Bitcoin, like you're still not even getting half a Bitcoin now.
Right. And you're just getting it back in fiat. So basically just dollarize what you had at the time of bankruptcy and you'll get back that in fiat.
Right. If you had, 10 Solanas, on FTX US, you're going to end up with 3 Solanas. So I don't think you like feel like you've gotten 100% recovery.
Oh, but that's just how bankruptcy works, baby.
Yeah, not even 3, like 2.5.
I mean, I feel the pain. I mean, I'm a Celsius creditor. Our claims were also dollarized. Everything
20K.
sorry.
It was at 20K.
Yeah, 20K. So I guess we had a couple thousand above FTX. But yeah, I think we're looking at, I don't know what recovery we're looking at, but it's going to be less than FTX. So
In dollarized terms, which is fair actually, because FTX creditors were like the worst defrauded in this story.
do you mean
Like,
compared to Celsius compared to Voyager, or do you just mean
yes. Well, in the case of Voyager, I don't think there was any fraud. It
no?
was just a shit company.
Right.
In the case of Celsius, there was fraud.
Hmm.
It was basically a Ponzi scheme. But
Mhm.
like, no offense, Tiffany, I'm sorry if I'm going to say this, but like, you did lend your crypto to Alex Mashinsky to do whatever he wanted with. Like,
Indeed.
you believe that guy who's
I
like,
didn't believe, I actually hadn't watched a single video of Alex Mashinsky before I
wow.
put money into Celsius. Then when I started watching them, I'm like, yeah, I don't like him. Like, he's a shady little, he's like a slimy used car salesman. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
why did I?
And you're like, oh,
I
why
only
did
watched
I lend this guy
after.
money?
Sam, I would have trusted though. So yeah, I guess you guys.
And I did. I trusted Sam. That was a mistake. And to be honest, I'm paying for it, but he is paying for it way more than I am. Like, it
Yeah,
sucks being Sam right now. I feel bad for the guy.
it does suck being Sam right now. Um, but yeah, okay. So do you think that the FTX fraud, they were defrauded in a worse way because
Because
they
they
were
didn't agree to any of this.
right?
Like, if you were custodying your Bitcoin on FTX, you are getting absolutely wrecked. Even though there's a high recovery,
Yeah.
you're getting wrecked.
Yeah. I mean, FTX US customers, I think, are the most fucked in this because they really were just custodying and they weren't.
Yes, yes.
And I mean, Sam is still upset that FTX US is in Chapter 11, and he doesn't think they should be in Chapter 11. So I'm sure he's not pleased with
Well,
this.
it got hacked. The like principal reason that it's completely insolvent is that it got hacked.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
Sam still claimed that after the hack, FTX US still had $300 million extra. Don't know if that's true.
in dollar terms, the parent company had extra money, but it
Mm,
still didn't make any sense.
mm. Okay, he didn't tell me that. Okay.
But the parent company money, West Realm Shires, because he looked like a hobbit, that's going into the general pool.
Okay. Oh, God. Well,
It's complicated. I think there's going to be some lawsuits, some hand wringing. It's going to last for ages, and in the end, the lawyers are going to win.
the lawyers are going to win.
That is what's going to happen.
Fucking
I'm going to get a bunch of hate on Twitter, but like, I wouldn't sue. I would want to get out of Chapter 11 as fast as possible. I don't think there's any winning for anybody except for Solcrom.
I know. I mean, at this point, obviously, there are still people upset that Solcrom is at the helm of this and is the legal counsel, but it's like, it's a little too late to switch it up now. I mean, is there even a chance for switching up the legal counsel at this point?
No. And
Yeah.
what? This to last another 2 years?
Yeah, like start from square one. Yeah.
I'm
No.
good. I
I
want
feel.
out of Chapter 11 ASAP. Like, I'm done.
Mhm,
And it's been a year, and it's been a year and a month and 7 days.
mhm.
Who's counting? And 7 hours. Like,
But who's counting?
and we can have this conversation again in a year about how it's been too.
Oh God, it's a nightmare.
It's not.
Bankruptcy is a nightmare. And if you want out, you can sell your claim.
I think, yeah, if you have a sub $10 claim, it's wrecked. Oh, my favorite thing, and I think that's about it from the document, is
Okay.
how they highlighted that basically a lot of FTX insiders knew about this, and they all called it the Korean friend was the whole.
This was sort of known. Well, this was a sub account of FTX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hadn't stumbled on the
Oh,
Korean
really?
friend.
Oh, yeah. It came up a lot in Sam's trial. Yeah. Korean friend account.
Yeah, well, I wasn't at the trial, but it doesn't sound good. I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, oh, This is all so crimey.
Yeah, I don't know. Sam had an explanation for it, but yeah, it
It's
doesn't
a
look.
bad explanation. Whatever it is, it sucks. It kind of sounds like a mafia boss being like, "I've got a Korean friend," you know?
It kind of does. It kind of
Yeah.
does. Yeah, the name. It was an email like Soy Young Chung or something like that. It was just like a random email.
That's it. That's all I have, guys.
That's
You
all
can
you have. No other
pay
surprises. Anything.
or FTX creditors. I'm telling you
Sorry.
the truth. There's no. If what you want to be distributed crypto, they sold it all. They freaking sold all the crypto. They can't buy it back higher and distribute
Yeah.
you crypto. It's dead.
Totally.
Basically, what they did was that they sold down everything that wasn't nailed to the floor and everything that was sellable. They're like, we're gonna sell it all, and screw you. Like, you can't do anything now. We've sold everything, you fuckers.
Yeah. It's too late to complain about it now. Yeah, like what do you guys want them to do? Rebuy crypto at these much higher prices? Like that's not realistic. Too late. Fucking fucking bankruptcy. Also though, what about all of these illiquid assets? I mean, how are they going to pay customers out with, for example, Anthropic? Are they
They're
going to sell it?
gonna sell it.
Are they in the process of doing so, or do you know? Did they talk about this at all?
They did run a process to sell it previously, and they halted that process.
Mhm.
Thank God. After the Miston Labs disaster. Don't know if you know about that.
No, about that.
So basically, FTX had through Alameda Ventures or whichever of their venture silo book an investment in Miston Labs, and Miston Lab. I'm going to sound really stupid here. Miston Labs creates a token called the SUI token. I have no idea what this token does, and they had a warrant for the token. And basically, they sold the equity back to Miston for the $90 million that they'd invested in, and the tokens for $1 million. And literally 2 weeks later, the tokens were worth like 300 million. And it was like, oh, you just essentially lost 300 million for the estate in a week.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was like bad. Now, having said that, I don't know if there's any like liquidity in the SUI token. I'm an old school crypto guy. I'm old school. Give me some Bitcoin, give me some
Yes.
ETH. Like, I get that, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to sound sketchy, let's do some Tron. Like, SUI tokens are a new wave for me.
Yeah. No, I have no idea what that is.
I'm also super bearish on crypto in general. So
I am too. So
like,
glad we're talking
then,
about it.
okay, now that I've said that, I'm going to lose all credibility.
Well, I talk about how I think crypto's stupid all the time. I think it's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I just don't get it, I guess. I do use crypto quite regularly.
stablecoins.
Yeah, I hate doing bank wires. I hate it. I really hate it. It sucks. The user experience. I have ADHD, I think, and I just don't have the like attention span to like, you know, call a call center to confirm a wire. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
yeah, send me your address.
For international transfers, I think it makes sense. I see some utility in crypto, but yeah, I'm not a big crypto bull evangelist, but
I like my Bitcoins, you know.
I like my Bitcoins too. I
Number
still have
go up, let's go.
yeah, I like when the number goes up. That's all I care about, honestly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get a decent amount out of the illiquid assets like Anthropic and Gemini. You were talking about Gemini last time. Also, if anyone wants to get a deeper understanding of everything we were talking about last time, we've already done a video on some of the more nitty-gritty details last time. So
I think you were really nice and you deleted all the negative comments about my hair and stuff.
but your hair, no one negative commented about your hair.
Oh gosh, well, you know, I was like obviously looking. I was like,
What's wrong with your hair?
it's really poofy.
It's not goofy.
Poofy.
Your hair is poofy. My hair is poofy too. No one commented negatively about your hair. I do sometimes get psychos like saying like Sam needs to die and I do block those people.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but there weren't as many negative comments as I expected. So
There might be some negative comments about this lady behind me.
Feel free to leave negative comments and criticisms. You can also leave questions if you'd like Louis to answer other things in another video one day.
Yeah, and Emma about my bedroom.
Yes.
Yes, she provided a lot of material for nightmares. Totally.
That's really creepy. It's really creepy. I don't like it. I wouldn't want to wake up to that or go to sleep to it.
Gosh, you should see the other crap that's in the house. I
It
think
looks
it's
really.
psyched on medieval weapons, so there's like a few of those.
There's medieval weapons.
Yeah,
That's cool. You have to show me afterwards. Okay. Anything else we need to take care of? Let's see.
your vaping
Any?
habit. I think that's what we need to discuss. But
Are you upset?
look, I like a vape like anybody else. I just think you vape a lot. I'm worried about you.
I know. I do vape a lot. I need to quit at some point. Like it is a goal of mine to eventually quit, but I'm like, it's not a near-term goal. I'm not like, I need to do it today, but I would like to quit eventually.
I'm just saying, Tiff, we gotta watch that.
Oh. As long as you're not offended.
I'm not offended.
Okay. Just worried for my health.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take that. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I need to stop vaping. Any actions customers can take at this point other than selling their claims.
Yeah, complete your KYC. If you don't complete your KYC, you ain't getting no money.
Complete your KYC. You can also sell your claim. I don't know what
You
else you
have
guys.
to complete your KYC regardless.
Yes, okay. Make sure to complete your KYC. Bankruptcy is a fucking nightmare. Celsius is a bit ahead of you guys, you FTX creditors, and it's a fucking nightmare. I still think Celsius might be a little bit worse. I don't know.
I actually think Celsius might be better if you're a crypto person.
If you're a crypto person, it's better because Celsius is getting some liquid crypto back, apparently.
Yes.
I don't understand really actually why there is a difference in terms of like why didn't FTX want.
Look, I don't know. This was
That's
the debtors from day one in FTX are like, we are going to just give back dollars. We're not going to give back crypto. And I'm going to sell. John Ray was like, I'm going to sell whatever's not bolted to the floor. It's going.
wow. And that's what you guys are paying John Ray the big bucks for.
Exactly. And Sullivan and Cromwell were like, yep,
Yeah.
let's go. No one at any point decided not. We'll see what happens. I just think that like as Bitcoin went up, you're better off as a Celsius creditor, because if Bitcoin does go up to whatever gazillion dollars, you end up with more.
That is true. That is true. I don't know if I'm not.
Has no crypto exposure essentially now.
That is wild. That's wild.
About 800 million is my guess, but I don't know. In a $10 billion bankruptcy, that's not that much. I think recoveries will be good based on petition date values, but like, you're going to be disappointed. If you're a guy who held Bitcoin on FTX, and you should go get Bitcoin exposure somewhere else because you don't have it anymore.
Well, that's today's cheery video.
There you go. And get tax advice because it's about to hurt.
Okay.
That 30% withholding looks scary to me.
Ooh, yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what the rules are.
Did you talk to your lawyer about that? Like, is there some misunderstanding? Or okay.
They mention it a lot in the plan. Like, it's not just one time. They talk about it 3 different points. They're like, you need to get your own advice because we might be withholding.
Well, thank you for reading that very, very long document, Louis.
My pleasure, Tiff. And look, if anybody has some aggressive questions for me, as long as you're polite, I will argue with you and chat with you on Twitter.
Louis on Twitter at Louis Origny.
Yeah, you're doing good.
I'll type it on the screen. LOUISORIGNY.
Yeah, nice.
I know. I had if there's something that comes up, we might do another video.
Yes. If something crazy, if Binance gets a clawback, I can't wait. I will let's jump on that.
I hope that Binance gets a clawback. Okay, good. Okay, well that'll just be the end of the video.
Sweet.
I hope you enjoyed this FTX bankruptcy update with Louis. I'll read the full document myself, but it's been literally 1 day since the 138-page document came out yesterday, so I need a bit of time to go over it. I will post more updates soon, and let me know what other content you want to see. And I've also begun uploading these longer conversations as podcasts on Spotify and Apple, so I'll leave the links down below in the description and in comments, but if you'd be willing to give me a little 5-star rating, because I just started doing this a couple weeks ago and I only have like 3 episodes up, that would be very nice because I'm very new to those platforms. I love you all so very much, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Bye.
To all those that think I'm in a green screen, I'm in my parents' house. This is cool.
Doesn't it look like a fake background, everyone?
A little bit, but
They
shot horror movies in my house growing up.
Have they really? Because it looks like they did. It looks like they did.
You can't scare me. Um,
Okay.
there's some bangers in this document.